has machshavos toivos, they knock out the machshavos rois and replace them. Chadash mipnei yashan toitziu. It's an important yesod. The idea, why do I say it's an important yesod? Because the idea is not, okay, I have a machshava ra, whatever it might be, like, get rid of it, get rid of it. There's no getting rid of it. What are you getting rid of? Shtifat moach. I mean, what are you getting, you could stand on your head for a little bit. Shoot yourself. What are you going to do? Like, so in fact, the Mishnah Berurah brings that if a person has a machshava ra during Shemona Esrei, one of the ironies of life, like, Shemona Esrei, like the weirdest things come to people's minds. It's actually, it's a simon you're davening with kavanah. It means that you put yourself in somewhat of a meditative state of kavanah. So now, all of a sudden, all kinds of machshavas are coming, and they're machshavas that are coming from your lave, and, whoa, where did that come from? Like, all of a sudden, they're machshavas. So the Mishnah Berurah says that the eitzah is never to try to get rid of the machshava, it just makes it stronger. Just giving a tip, that's all. The eitzah is to have machshavas toivos, and that automatically pushes it out, because the machshava tova is stronger than the machshava ra, and it gets rid of it. I'll tell you something very similar, not in terms of davening, but this helps me a lot as a rabbi. Like, if somebody really gets on your nerves,
yeah.
Which
should we all leave now or what?
No, which doesn't. This doesn't stop with age; it gets worse. like people do. meaning like what gets on. I can't talk for people. I can just talk for myself. Like what gets on my nerves is when artificial things like shtick. A person talks the way they not really are, or they stand the way they not really are, or they do whatever they do, but is that really what they are? It's like a shtick, they're trying to appear in a certain way. So, I'm sure I do it too, but it's just personally very sensitive to it, so it gets on my nerves. Like, what's this? Was a split level home here? Like, just say what you want to say, and just do what you want to do. But the point I'm making is not what gets on my nerves. This is not a group therapy here. I just, although that might be a good idea for me. But the klal, I learned this from our Rebbe, Rav Sheinberg. He said that if you have machshavas about a person which are not so nice, so you should replace them with machshavas tovos about a person. So meaning, like, if you start thinking about the good things that person does or is, so the machshavas rois immediately go apart. It's not about like, oh, stop thinking that. It's machshavas tovos. And he said to me once, if you're really stuck, you just can't think of anything like anything tov about that person. We're not talking about Rishayim. We're not talking, Lav Bereshiyaskim. We're talking about, So he says, think of them like, he says he told me it's helpful to him to find like a baby picture, to find how that person looked when they were 1 or 2 years old and they were still cute. So every time you look at the person, okay, it's cute, But the point is that it's the best way to get rid of machshava ra is machshava tov, and even ad kedei kach, there's machshava of avodah zarah or arayis, which is a cheta machshava. So it's a cheta machshava, unlike what Jimmy Carter said, that it's okay to fantasize in your heart, if you're old enough to remember, that was his big psak. It's okay, mutter. We graduated with presidents, so now it's not only machshava, it's the dibur. Yeah, I was bringing it down to the oil of yeah, getting better, So these chatayim, the way to do tshuva is of course you have charata, but it's kabbalah al asid. It's about bringing in machshavas tovos. So by bringing machshavas tovos, it's a brain wash. It's a shtifat moach, and it's actually a bit of a miraculous thing that happens. And all of a sudden you're thinking good. So like it's a good exercise. Just again, I'll give you a tip before I start. It's a good exercise that if somebody really, if you really don't like somebody, to But it happens everybody once in a while. You really don't like somebody, so it's not a good thing to walk around with negativity, right? There's no good or net comes out of it. So what you do is you think about something good about that person, and once you focus on that, it's just a very, very special gift that we have. That's what comes to mind every time, and sometimes you're hard pressed. I really like your nose. Like it could be really, difficult to grasp, but it's avodah Hashem. Okay, let's do Perek Yud Beis inside. Shar Aleph Perek Yud Beis. I gave a lot of hakdamas, so that should be helpful. I hope. Masha hanefesh ruach neshama shel ha'adam. It's on page Lamed Ches if you have my book. Masha hanefesh ruach neshama shel ha'adam. We said that the neshama has three parts, or according to the more Hasidic Svarim, has three levushim. Of nefesh, ruach, and neshama, three parts of the neshama. The three levushim are machshava, dibur, and ma'aser. So, meaning levush doesn't mean clothing. Levush means this is how it looks, this is how it comes out, this is how it manifests itself. So, machshava, dibur, ma'aser, neshama, ruach, and nefesh. So, this is all in the world of Gashmias. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, all these things, these are not Heichazachem. This is all in the world of Gashmias, it's all in the world of, or to use the Kabbalistic term, it's all in the world of Asiya. We should, the world of Maisa. It'd be worthwhile a little bit to replace the word Gashmias every once in a while with the world of Asiya, the world that we live in. Gashmias is like a negative kind of, the Lulav also Gashmias. It doesn't, Gashmias. So, Masha nefesh ruach neshama shel ha'adam, ein biyicholtam lekasher, excuse me, ha'elamais. They can't be mekasher, the elamais, ad ridatam lamata beguf ha'adam. This naran, or this neshama, in short, the catch-all term is neshama, cannot do anything in terms of being makasher elamais until they end up in your body. Kilusakein olam ha'asiya, because in order to be masakein the olam ha'asiya, hutzerchu behechrech lislabesh beguf ba'olam hamasa. In order for your neshama to accomplish anything in this world, obviously it has to be in your guf. Now we're going to go into this. So the point is this. The point is really 2 points that he just said in this paragraph. One point is that there are not one world, but there are 4 worlds. There's the world of Asiya, there's the world of Yitzira, there's the world of Bria, there's the world of Atzilus. It's all important because that's the world. Without saying it's important is like saying that look, I have the main thing. I've got the computer, but I have no Wi-Fi connection. I have no connection to the disk. I have no question. It's just Asiya, right? So in order for the Asiya to do anything, you have to have this neshama. That's why Hashem gave Adam Arishon a neshama. You can't do anything without this neshama. That's one point. The other point is that the way we've learned it is that all of these worlds, and he's going to explain to him in a moment how important this is, how practical this is, because what do we care what's going on in the world of Bria, let's say? Who cares, the world of Bria. But all of these worlds are not mitzukan, except for through the world of Asiya. This is what's very important. In other words, the keyboard is here. So you can't be masakein anything in the worlds except for through the world of Asiya. So you certainly can't be masakein the world of Asiya itself. But not only that, the Asiya, like you view it as he calls it, like a rope. Yaakov Chevel Nachalase, like a rope that goes up. So of course you can't do anything at the bottom of the rope if you don't have the rope. But also when you shake this rope, it's going all the way up to the top, and then finally ringing the bell. If you don't have the rope, so not only you're not masakin here, so you can't hang a little decoration on or something, but you can't do anything going up the rope. And that's the 2 things that we have to understand. What we don't yet understand completely is why do we care about what's going on in the world of Bria, Yitzir, and Asiya. So, I mean, before we even get into what he says, the reason we care is because there's nothing in this world which doesn't have its shirish in the world of the upper worlds of Bria, Yitzir, Asiya. If it's too windy here, so that means that there's some kind of a chasard there. You can try to be masakin in here. You know, I'm thinking of Mashal, like it's almost, there's nothing laughable about these fires. They're very, very dangerous and they're very scary, and Baruch Hashem is watching us. But, you know, it's so interesting to bring in planes from all over the world to throw water on it, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu in a second could just make a cloud burst and do the whole thing. But, you know, to try to mimic that from the world of Asiya, is a shver ma'isa. I don't know, maybe it works there, doesn't it? Bring a big tanker from America, you know, like 747 full of water, you know. But it's self kol self, you know, when you want to be masakin something in this world, the right way to the best way to be masakin, if you can, would be to masakin it from a world above it, right? That's the correct thing to do. Top down leadership here. So to try to do it here is. It might work, it might not work. It's very shver, very expensive. It's very unnatural to do it that way. But it's the only thing we can do, I guess, other than daven. So the two nakudas here. So the simple thing of why we want to be masakin the worlds above us is because that's where everything comes from. If we have peace in this world, if we have war in this world, if we have illness in this world, if we have happiness in this world, it's all coming from higher worlds. So, of course, we want to be masakin the higher worlds. That's pasha. So that's why it's important that the neshama is here, and it's biyadenu to be masakin. This all takes place in this lowly world of Asiya. Be'inyan ha'isayrish shalabala. The fact that what goes on in Shamayim, let's call it, Lamala, is affected, Hisayrus means it's affected, by what we do here. Amar David Amelch, this was already said by David Amelch, this is not Kabbalah, this is Psukim. Hayoitzer Yachad Libam, Tilim, we're all familiar. Hayoitzer Yachad Libam, Hamevin El Kol Ma'aseihem. Hamevin El Kol Ma'aseihem. This is the emphasis on the second part of the Hayotzer Yachad Libam. Hashem creates Yachad, the lave of a person. Yetzer Hara, Yetzer Atov, whatever. But let's tell us on this. Hamevin El Kol Ma'aseihem. He, Hashem, understands everything that we do. So what's the he understands everything that we do. So how would you say it if you were saying it in Hebrew?
Maybe call Masayim.
Yeah. Rabbi Es Kol Basayim, Rabbi Masayim, Rabbi Kol Basayim. What's Rabbi El Kol Basayim? What's that L for? El Al. What's L for? Olofib Shutai. Simple way of saying this. Hayaroy Loiber Habevin Kol Basayim. As Rav Moshe says, could have just simply said, "Habevid Kol Basayim." He understands everything we do. You can't trick God. You can't fool God, right? He knows what you do. V'yabar, mashma that people stick it's on God's nerves too. You see, it touches it. V'yabar El Kol Ma'aseyem. Roitzeloiber Hanoigeya L'Ma'aseyem. Very, very beautiful shot in pasuk. That El Kol Ma'aseyem. He understands everything which is connected to that Maisa.
Like the motives?
No, other way around. Like El Kol Basayim, Kol Hanogei Basayim, that everything that comes out. Hashlachot. Very good word. Right? A Maisa has Hashlachot. Every Maisa has Hashlachot. We understand that. Mm-hmm. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't just look at our Maisa, he looks at the repercussions of that Hanogei. That's what the word else means to Reb Chaim Volozhin. Behind that means Shehu Hayotzram Yisbarach Shmaya. He who created our life. Hayodeya Umevin Adhechen Maseyim Magiyim V'Noigim B'Tikunei Ha'Lamayis Oy Lahefech Chas V'Shalom. His understanding. See, we understand the Hashlachot this way, straight, parallel. Hashlachot. there are hashlachot. We're all familiar with the butterfly effect. So yes. That means
Action reaction.
well,
Very Bradbury book. That's what it comes from.
Ilya Prigin.
Oh, really?
Yes. Ilya Prigin, the butterfly effect. That the idea, the simple butterfly effect is dumbing it down to 7th grade level, but the idea is that every time a butterfly flaps its wings, it's moved the air, and by moving the air, so it starts to move the air, you could end up with a tsunami in Taiwan or something. So that's from a physicist point of view. It's so interesting because I asked 3 different grandchildren at 3 different times separate. I said, "Where's all this wind coming from?" It's very windy, right? So rain comes from the clouds, and heat comes from the sun, and where does the wind come from? So it's interesting. All 3 of them, including your daughter, all 3 of them answered separately. It comes from the trees.
Trees.
From the trees. Interesting, that's the mind of a kid. I didn't say no because I was afraid that they would ask me, so where does it come from? I have no idea where. But it's interesting, the cause and effect, right? It's very interesting. The trees are obviously affected by the wind. An adult mind understands that kid sees the trees are shaking and it's windy, so it must be that the wind comes from the trees. It's an interesting. So, how deep do these hashlachot go? And what's really the cause is something which requires deep thinking. How far back are you going to go? So let's look at a child's mind. It starts with the tree. In my mind, it starts someplace in the ocean. In reality, I don't know. Where do you know? I don't know where does it actually come from? Some kind of a tilt of the earth. I don't. Why all of a sudden is it windy? What's the svar and windiness?
And why do we say Mashiv Haruach? Why is that part of it?
Mashiv Haruach.
We don't say 10 Talmud Torah Chai, it's maybe Talmud, we don't ask.
What does it mean? You say it every day. What does it mean? Mashiv Haruach.
What's around, I guess.
Well, Ruach
Noshevet.
Noshevet. Thank you. So what does it mean?
He blows the wind.
Mashiv means
Not
to
bring
blow.
back the blow.
The Rav
Noshevet,
Noshevet is the
yeah.
wind blowing.
Rabbi,
That's the pool of the
from a
wind.
scientific perspective, it is literally one of the most complex problems scientists face today, which is to predict weather and wind patterns, to understand, it's not simple scientifically to understand where wind comes
Or
from.
Shikivanti.
But it's typically the most
And here I'm asking the 6-year-olds.
the most sophisticated models today are dealing with weather and wind patterns.
Right. They love to talk about wind.
It's not simple.
They love to talk about wind.
Typically it's heat and air pressure.
Okay. You listen to the weather report and they tell you the wind is northwest at 25 miles an hour. Okay.
It's an observation, it's not a prediction.
No, but my laugh could be northwest. What are you gonna do? Wear your hat differently? And if it would be north-southwest, it would be. You're gonna walk differently. What are you gonna do differently because it's
The
north?
sea makes a difference because it
Right. So if you're driving a plane, I guess it also makes a difference. You're flying.
Something that affect the rain, moving the rain.
Mashiv haruach,
Right.
u'mar dageshem.
Your farmer-
I'm not sure. I know that in Hebrew, aruach nosheves means a blowing wind, but I'm not sure that the word Mashiv haruach is he blows the winds. I'm not sure if that's the right. What's the root of the word mashiv? Mashiv, lahashiv.
Almost like a makeshift to put back.
To return, yeah. Shav. Anyways, or meshiv is to make a moshav, something like that. We say it every day. We should think about it. Okay, so what he's saying though here is he's talking. HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes our hamevin el kol ma'asehem, is he understands to where our ma'asim go. Hamevin el kol ma'asehem. That's the way he learns it. V'chein koheles, take it a generation later to Shlomo HaMelech Amar, yes, kol ma'aseh ha'elikim Yavai v'mishpat al kol nelam. He also translate that for us, please. Kohelet. Ki es kol maaseh elikim. What's the matter? Ki es kol maaseh, everything God does.
Yeah.
Everything, or let's say it deeper, everything that Elohim always refers to the God as he manifests itself in this world. Malach Kula, right? So everything. By the way, when you're talking about the whole four element theory, which Chazal held up, so one of the elements is wind. Like I mean, what I'm saying is that things are actually made out of wind, like they're made out of earth and fire. Even if you'll go with a sort of a more of a nuclear theory that everything's made out of all billions of things, but somehow Chazal understood the yesod of everything is Eish, Ruach, Mayim, and Afar. So the Ruach is, we understand everything. I can understand how Eish and things are made out of Eish, things are made out of Mayim, Aretz, made out of Ruach. It's like an interesting, like Ruach is something different than...
Is it Ruach the force? I mean,
Ruach.
Ruach is not something intrinsically...
Ruach. We also call Ruchnius Ruach.
We're made of rope.
So if you ask me where does water come from, it's the same thing as asking where the wind is coming from. It's the same, it just is.
It just is.
It's not coming from.
It's coming from the clouds. Or from Mayanot. Why, it's not hard to know where water comes from.
So you're just plugging, you're just saying, in this cycle, where is it?
I understand where water comes from. I could understand where fire comes from. I could understand where earth comes from.
The air is there, but the wind is already like...
The wind is, why is the air moving? That's what I'm just, okay.
It is really typically because of air pressure. And
So
heat
much
is
more.
driving to
Heat changes the air pressure. Okay.
This is water which you see.
V'chein Koheles Amar Ki Es Kol Masei Elokim. So we're talking about Masei Elokim. We're talking about what creation. Masei Elokim. We're talking about creation. What's going on here in this world? Yavi. So everything that happens in this world, Yavi b'mishpat, will be part of the judgment al kol ne'elam, on everything that's hidden. V'lo yamar comes Rechaim Lo, so it doesn't say, the diuk is not, what's the shver word here? Lo yamar ki elokim yavi b'mishpat is kol ma'aseh. If that's what it means, that's what he should have said, Shlomo HaMelech, that Hashem is going to judge every single action that we do. Simple. Why do you have to say so backward? Lo ki elokim Yavai b'mishpat es kol ma'aseh. That would be nice. Nice pasuk, right? That Hashem judges every action. But what does it say? Ki es kol ma'aseh elokim yavai b'mishpat al kol nelam. So we have al. Behind ki elokim. Elokim means whenever you see the name Elokim, Bereshis, bara, Elokim, right? Perushai, Baal hakoychos kulam. It refers to that which makes the world work. There will come a judgment day when everybody is standing in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu for Mishpat. The din of what I've done is not only being done on what I've done. You did this, you did that, you stole, you didn't steal. Okay, did a Ma'aseh Geneva. Okay, you did a Ma'aseh Geneva, but what about the Hashlachot? Now that person doesn't have what they're supposed to have, and their kids are hungry. And now that their kids are hungry, they're not doing as well in school. When they don't do as well in school, they get depressed. And if they get depressed, they go off the derech. You just caused the kid to go off the derech. They go off the derech, So, now they're gonna. I think it's absolutely something to think about, even on a linear level. You keep somebody up at night, Gezel Shena. So it's like Gezel Shena. A person walks around the next day, you didn't sleep. You walk around the next day like, well, you're in a bad mood and you didn't sleep, right? We know what this feels like, right? Next thing you know, you're arguing with your wife. So what are the ramifications of that? All of a sudden you made a period in the holiest thing in the world. That's going to affect the kids. That's going to affect my parnasa. I'm not thinking so. You didn't just keep somebody up at night. I mean, that's not the point. Like Gezel Sheni, you took away my geschmack of sleeping. Like you took away my lollipop. It has huge ramifications. These ramifications don't only go this way; they go that way too. So they go up to the Shamayim, and there are ramifications that we don't even know about in the Olamais Elyonim. This is the amazing thing. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says,
Who is responsible for this?
Perushai, Baal HaKoyches Kulam, Be'ez HaMoed HaAdam LaMishpat, Lefanav Yisbarach Shmai, Lo Yadunas HaMaisa Levada Kafi Shehi. Ach Yachshu Gam Kol Ma Shegorem V'Sibev Al Yedei Maisa. Everything that has come out of my Maisa. Im Toiv V'Im Ra. So the answer is yes. V'chol HaKoyches V'Ha'elamais. V'zehu she'amrei ma'aseh ha'elikim.
How could we be held responsible for things that we don't have control over?
You did.
You did, actually, somebody else.
original point, yes.
Well, that's the thing, that's the butterfly.
Because Baruch Hu knows the extent of ramifications.
How are you responsible for is the butterfly responsible for the hurricane?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yes. Maybe it's less of a responsibility, but it's all part of the din, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not just looking at what you did. That's not important. He's looking at the hashlachot. And once if
That's why Rivka offered to pour the water in a certain way, because she wanted to do it b'yofi. You do have to think it through, and there is a consequence.
yes, there are consequences to all our actions, both in the higher worlds and in the linear worlds. Elagamas ma'aseh, everything that comes out from everything that we do.
How do we understand the pasuk? What's the
What does it mean going upwards versus?
our Maisa is called Maisa Elokim, Maisa Kol HaKochot Kula.
Right. So our Maisa is called Maisa Ha'Elokim, meaning HaKadosh Baruch Hu put part of Asher Bara Elokim Lassos. Right. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Bria gave us some of the control, and if we mess up, just think about it like this: like a person breaks into the hidden room in the White House, and Avera, he opens up the desk drawer, another Avera. He pushes a button. So I pushed a button. There went Russia. So you don't get the guy for trespassing. They probably would in the way the legal system works there. But is that the issue of trespassing? The issue is you just blew up half the world. Like what you need to understand is I guess what we all need to understand is yesh hashlachot. We don't always know the hashlachot here. We certainly don't always know the hashlachot in Shemayim, but there are repercussions, and it's called, therefore, ad kedei kach, it's Maisa Ha'Elokim. We're shutaf, our Maisim are Maisa Ha'Elokim.
That's why it's not like Elokim, because what's the Hey idea there? No, there's one Elokim.
The way I understand it is that what happens in the world of Asiya is our domain. So since it's our domain, this is the Maisa Ha'Elokim.
So
What you're doing is a godly thing. Bein l'toiv, bein l'ra. The Medrash gives, there's a Medrash Rabbah in Harshas Pekudei. I don't remember what pasuk is referred to, but the mashal stuck in my mind to an Eved that needs to tie something. So he goes into the chambers of the Adain, and he sees a piece of rope, so he cuts off the piece of rope, not realizing that when he cuts off the piece of rope, then this beautiful $1 million jug just fell on the floor. No. I just got the rope. So the Avera here is not taking the rope. The Avera here is the repercussion. So it makes everything that we do so much deeper. It is a little bit scary, isn't it? V'yamar ki es, but it's also tov, meaning we don't know sometimes, like the tov that we do.
You never know.
A smile, like Bill says, a smile. Sometimes a person just needs a smile. Misafik, you can give a person a smile. It's right. You smile at somebody. Miyodea, like how you can. We've all heard. I heard it all every day. Like how
change their life.
Change a person's life. One word can change a person's life. Kal v'chomer, like if you do something like really good, you help a person financially, you can change their life. You can break a cycle. You can change. You can really. It's actually quite amazing how much power we have, and the power is not like this. The power is also like this. V'yamar ki es. Nobody knows Sinas Chinam was machriv the Beis Hamikdash. Isn't that rudimentary knowledge that you don't have to be a makubal to understand what Sinas Chinam is machriv the Beis Hamikdash? Not just this way, but this way.
What are the ramifications upwards? What are the ramifications upwards?
How do I know? V'yamar, some we know. There's such a thing as Mida Keneged Mida, a little bit you can know. But V'yamar, I'm sorry to be, but I actually don't like when people guess. It bothers me.
I was asking if you guess.
No, I don't think there's all kinds of theories on the internet as to why there's fires in Israel. we did this Avera, we did that Avera, I was just like, shut up. like how do you know, what Avera? It's just a Kitrug, Donald Trump did it. Like this, because, there's all kinds of, now, that being said, I'm sure that it has to do with our Meisim here, I'm sure, there's no question about it. To know exactly what, maybe a Gadol Ador or a Navi or something knows, but, everyone's got the theories, and all kinds of rhythms. Right? No, I don't like it. V'yamar ki es kol Maisa, so he continues being Mefarsh's pasuk. Es kol Maisa lekim. V'yamar ki es kol ha'maisa v'loy al kol Maisa. If it would have been al kol Maisa, it would have been easier for you to understand. Would we have an easier time with this? Ki al kol Maisa lekim yavi v'mishra. On everything that we do, there's a mishpah.
Regular is it. This is all called Ne'elam. You already have it all.
Hmm?
You already have an all in the pasuk. All called Ne'elam.
Okay. Yamar ki es kol Maisa v'loy al kol Maisa ha'inyan. So the pshat is K'masha Amar in Eov. Ki po'al adam yishalem loy. V'hu k'mash nispar l'mala, Perek Vav in the Haggah, sheme'ei sha'ola al Torah machshavas ha'adam lasis mitzvah. From the minute that we consider doing a mitzvah, tekef nasa rishuma l'mala. Wow, isn't this special? You just think about it doing a mitzvah. We've already started doing, something is already happening in Shamayim. An impression. B'shar shoy ha'elyon. In its shorish, something is already happening. That's why even machshava tov ben starf l'maisa, right? Or he writes ha'olech lasis mitzvah v'nehenas, and something happens, he can't do the mitzvah. It's not like he didn't do anything. It's there's still a yibeda rosha l'bala. Wanting is also livnois v'lintoya kamoy lamois v'koychois el yonim k'moshikasu. Eov said this. Now think about that. Eov said this. Moshikasu v'yishaya v'asim dvarai beficha. I put my words, meaning the Torah, in your mouth, our mouths. What for? Lintoya shomayim, to change the heavens. Ukamamorim zal seif brachas al tikre bonayich ela bonayich, and there you have the whole thing. It's not just bon al tikre. We say davening al tikre bonayich ela bonayich. We are bona oilamais, not just with Torah, with everything. So the butterfly effect, moving upwards, not downwards. Umimela misayer umamshich gam olav or makif me'akdusha hal yoina. So here's a little piece which changes the whole Kabbalistic tip here in one sentence, and that is that when we have a machshava to do a mitzvah or to do a davar tov or to do an avera, let's say the mitzvah, let's talk about mitzvahs now, be positive. So when we have a machshava to do a mitzvah, we did some kind of a tikkun in Shamayim already, right? We already did some kind of a tikkun. Now that tikkun, what does it do? So here's one answer. It creates an or. And the or comes down upon us, and that or, gam olav or makiv me'akadusha ha'el yarna, v'hu ha'masayir l'gamra. That's where we get the strength to finish it.
To do the action.
To do the action. Haflu v'vela. Meaning like mahechatesa, listen, the Lubavitch Rebbe used to always say his famous line, I think it's even on the sides of the buses now, Altsvos mernemtzach harunter. So, meaning, which is, I think, a very deep Kabbalistic thing that he was saying, that you have a project. Can I do it? Can I not do it? Can I do this project or not? I want to build a yeshiva. I want to change the Jewish people. Whatever you want to do. You have a project. Can you do it or you can't do it? If a person has a machshava, a little machshava, so then you've created a little or, and the little or comes and lets you do it. Let's say you think big. I'm going to change the whole state of Israel. Latov. So the big thought creates a big or. And the big or, now we're talking about, I don't know anything about Kabbalah, but I do know what an or makif is, at least how it's used. The or makif is important to understand that when Hashem created the world, so and as the Arizal says at the very beginning of, and the Nefesh HaChaim says, the Rav Chaim says at the very beginning, Loi me'atzmai anu medabrim ela me'oiroi. Very, very important Kabbalistic insight. All those Kabbalah Svarim are not talking about Hashem, period. We have not, leis machshava tfisa, there's nothing to be a Kabbal about. What it's all dealing with, all of Kabbalah Svarim are dealing with, is Loi me'atzmai yisbarach ela me'oiroi. Hashem took somehow, this is the part that we don't get, but somehow or another he created an or, which is called in Kabbalah Svarim or pashut, and he took this or, and with this or pashut, he created the world. So it's all about the or. It's not about Hashem, it's all about the or. So creation happens through this or. It's like the mashal is that or itself you don't see, right? You only see when it reflects on something. That's when you're going to see light. So the or of HaKadosh Baruch Hu came and created out of the molecules and the particles that he created a world. So it's not a Kadosh Baruch Hu that we're talking about, but his R. We actually change the R when we have a machshava tova, because the machshava and the R are makbil zelazeh. So we actually change the R with machshava. So now I have a machshava. If I have a big thought, I have a big thought, So the answer to somebody has a big thought, you don't tell the person it's just being ridiculous, like you have such a big thought for. Why can't I have big thoughts? Big thoughts, you can at least think big, Big thoughts create big R. And that R is b'diyuk what gives us the koach to do the ma'aseh and to have atzlacha. So anybody who's been matzliach in a very big way, it's probably because they had a very big machshava. And in the mechanism of things, that's how that works. When a person becomes about tshuva, I mentioned this before, when a person becomes about tshuva, whether you were not frum or frum, but when a person becomes about tshuva, so there's a new or chadash. There's a new or that comes at us, and it allows, you see this, if you've had a kesher with Balei Tshuva, if you are about tshuva, you see that at the beginning of the tshuva process, you can do things that are unbelievable. Because it all comes because, okay, I want to do tshuva in 1 second. Koila oilamai. In 1 second, you've taken on a whole lifestyle change. It was ridiculous, No, there's all kinds of things that a new Baal Tshuva can do that nobody else can do. Because it's not just because it's new. It's because there's a different kind of an or coming. Now the trick is to do that if you're not a Baal Tshuva.
So is that b'makom shabbat shabbat?
That's probably part of what it means, But, I know that in this week's parsha it says that Yitzchak was standing in one corner davening for a child, and Rivka was standing in the other corner davening to the child. Vayeter loy Hashem listened to Yitzchak. He didn't listen to Rivka. So Rashi says, because Eida Doivet Tfilas Tzadik Ben Tzadik L'Tzadik Ben Rasha. How can you compare Tzadik Ben Tzadik? That's why Yitzchak was answered, not Rivka. So everybody asked the kasha, what do you mean? Makim Shabbalei Tshuva Tzadikim Gemur Ben Yechalav. So she was about Tshuva. So her tefillah should have been more than him. So I saw once a beautiful teretz that the pshat is that for her to daven with a lot of kavanah was no trick. For a tzaddik ben tzaddik to have a lot of kavanah, that's a hard thing to do. She didn't have that. He didn't have that koach. So that Yitzchak davened with kavanah. It was Yitzchak ben Avraham. He grew up with this. He's kavanah. He's a miracle. Some malach. He was davening a lot of kavanah. Tzaddik ben tzaddik. That's already like a big thing, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu listened to that. That's already wow. You already went chutz begidroi to do it. Tzaddik ben tzaddik. Well. So I'll take further. Umemela misayir mamshich gam olav or makiv me'akadusha el yorna v'hu ha'masaya legamra v'achar gemoroi hamitzvah. And now that I've done the mitzvah, meaning I've created, listen to the cycle here. I've had a machshava, it all starts with a machshava. So we can start focusing on this. I have a machshava. Machshava creates or, lights go on. In Shabbat. The or comes, falls on me. My machshava illuminates me. Once I'm illuminated, I have koach now to finish off what I started doing. No matter what I thought of doing, I have a new koach to do it. Machshava did that, The Machshava created the or. Now that I do it, what happens? Let's take it one step further. Okay, I do it, and I make the change personally, nationally, whatever I do. I make the change that I want to make. Acher Gemarai HaMitzvah, and that's, by the way, why we say Habaschil b'mitzvah Oibrim loy Gemar. Why do we tell them Gemar? Because okay, you've got the light. Somebody else come to finish it. You've got the light. Don't waste it. Use it. Habaschil b'mitzvah Oibrim loy Gemar. You had an idea. Finish it off.
Also, the mitzvah is only called when the person is finishing it, right?
What?
And a mitzvah nikrat el Hashem gomer.
Right. Also, but why? Because it's just don't leave the last chela. It's like cooking for 3 hours and letting somebody else eat it. It doesn't you have asked mitzvah, however like work. So, but acher gemarei mitzvah, after I do the mitzvah, I finish the mitzvah. Hakadusha va'ar bistalik l'sharshay. What happens now to that R? I've done the mitzvah, mistalik l'sharshay, which we need to understand means that I can recycle this R for more. I can get more. Goes back to the sharish. One more sentence, and then we'll leave it for today.
Which sharish is?
The sharish of the neshama. The sharish of neshama, which was the R. V'zehu inyan schar olam haba. I wanted to get to this sentence. That's what olam haba is. Sehu Maisa Yedei Ha'adam Atzmai. We know Perek Avos says Schar Mitzvah Mitzvah. Right? But here's a concept that Olam Haba is not a place, per se. Olam Haba is the Or, which we created with Machshava, Dibur, Umaisa. The Or is put in the bank of the Shurish of our Neshama, and when our Neshama leaves us, that is the Or that it lives in, the Or that you created. You get to sleep in the bed you made. So what's happening over here is that or never goes away. The or comes, allows me. So it's like let's do a quick review. Lefi hasagaselu. That when you have a machshava toiva, so you create an or. Now what's that or do? It comes into me and allows me to finish the ma'aseh. Now you've created a bigger or. Besides for what you've accomplished in this world, what happens with that or? It's mistalek, no longer needed. It's mistalek lamala to the shirish. It goes back to the shirish of that or, and that's where my neshama goes. Acher me'av esrim. It's basking and living in the or which I myself created. So you're not living in Rav Shimon Bar Yochai's or. You're not living in Avraham Avinu's or. You're living in your or. The or that we created. It's such a wild concept that we create our own olam haba. Maybe Gehenna too. We have to work on that. But for sure, olam haba. Zeh inyan schar ha'olam haba. That's what schar is in olam haba. Schar mitzvah b'hayal b'leika. This is not schar. Schar is when the or itself stays there permanently, lenetzach, and my neshama is basking in that or. That's the or that I'm living in. Shehu maisi, by tchias hamesim, when the neshama comes back, it's coming with all that or. Coming with all that are. Shehu ma'aseh yedei ha'adam atzmai. Let's just finish the sentence. She'acher preidas nafshay mehaguf. Because when this nefesh leaves the guf, v'hu ola lis'adein la'aspia nafshay lahasbia nafshay b'tzachtzachos ha'aros v'ha'koichos v'ha'olamos ha'kedeshim. Now it's enjoying all of the olamos, the or of the olamos oyonim shnistasvu, which were created v'nisrabu b'maisim hatoivim. So my maisim, lefi, what I do, that's the or that I've created for myself. You're investing in the future here. So every maisa that we do. This is, by the way, I find uncharacteristic for Nefesh HaChaim to speak this way, because but he's only speaking technology. Not speaking Musar. It's not like, so be careful. It doesn't fear us. It's not a Musar sefer. It's just the technology of being able to understand how we have koach to do anything. Point one, which is because it comes from our machshava, but not just our machshava to maisa, but our machshava up to maisa. And then what happens with that? Schar mitzvah b'hayal maleka. The or doesn't necessarily all stay here. The accomplishment of the or stays here, but the or is ola lamala, and that's my or. Nobody can take it away from me. That is my or. That's my place. That became my place, but it's not placed the way we understand it. That is the or, and it's very simple. Why? Because the neshama goes back to its shorish, and the shorish is the or pasha that it came from. Hence, it's living now with a much bigger or than it started with because we got to live in this world. So the Vilna Gaon, was crying before he died. So they asked him, why are you crying? You're a big olam habadik, not a big olam hazadik. Why are you crying? He said, I'm crying because here I can wear tzitzis and I'm creating a moisivar. For a few grushim, I can do something. I can give some tzedakah, something about moisivar. I'm creating some kind of an eternal light. This is the chance that we have in olam hazet. That's the technology. Rabbi Shai, unfortunately Thursday I have to be away. I can't be here. So we'll continue next Sunday. My apologies.